Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my thoughts on Magic Missile, a few interesting changes I made to Magic Missile, a few other alternative Magic Missiles, and a magic item related to Magic Missile. Okay, let's dive into Magic Missile as is written. I got the book in front of me because there is no script for this video, so we are going to have fun together. Magic Missile. Casting time is one standard action. Like almost all spells, it has verbal and somatic components. Range is medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Targets up to 5 creatures, no two of which can be more than 15 feet apart. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. A missile of magical energy darts forth from your fingertip and strikes its target, dealing 1d4 plus 1 points of damage of force. The missile strikes unerringly even if the target is in melee combat, so long as it has less than total cover or total concealment. Specific parts of the creature can't be singled out. Objects are not damaged by the spell. For every 2 caster levels beyond first, you gain an additional missile. 2 at 3rd level, 3 at 5th level, 4 at 7th level, and maximum of 5 missiles at 9th level, or higher. If you shoot multiple missiles, you can have them strike a single creature or several creatures. A single missile can strike only one creature. You must designate targets before you check for the spell resistance or roll damage. Okay, well the first thing I'm going to do is, for all the games that I've ran, we've ignored the range. The range is if you can see it, you can hit it. So if a villain knows that you're coming and you're out in the open, if he can pull up a spyglass and see you, he can hit you. The damage isn't that powerful. It's a d4 plus 1 per missile. So, but the fact that you don't need to make an attack roll, they don't need to make a save, that's appropriate. It's force damage. Force damage means that it affects spirits and ghosts. So this is a good spell for that. Being that you only get 1 missile, it is not the best first spell at first level. Sleep is probably the best to take out a large group, and then the cone effects of burning hands or the damaging effects of shocking grasp outdo Magic Missile easily enough. But that said, Magic Missile is still so useful. So now the counter to Magic Missile is the shield spell. So you have the shield spell, which will block any Magic Missile coming from the direction the shield is facing on that character. And that character can change it every turn. So you have that option and that counter to Magic Missile. Both of these spells are first level. So let's say you want to do Magic Missile in a different way. Let's combine Magic Missile and the shield spell. So we'll call this a 2nd level Magic Missile spell. Its damage is not going to be any different, and the amount of missiles is not going to be any different than the original spell, but now it occupies a 2nd level slot. We'll call this Magic Missile, Shield Magic Missile. Shield Magic Missile can, when you cast the spell, hover around you for, say, half a minute, 5 rounds. Plus 1 round per 2 caster levels after that. It functions like the shield spell, except it's all directions. And you can individually designate a target each turn and use one of the missiles that's surrounding your head. Or, alternatively, you cast this and they spin around your head like ion stones, and whenever an enemy attacks you with Magic Missile, it interferes and destroys itself by blocking the missile. So that'll change things a tiny bit. So you got your shield Magic Missile. Let's say you want we'll go back to first level magic missile. Say you want a magic missile that makes a lot of noise, like Screeching magic missile. Let's drop the spell damage by 1 point, so now it only does a d4 per missile. And then the missile can have ghost sounds added to it. Now it screeches in the path that you designate the magic missile. It might not do damage to an object, but you could target an object as the direction you want the missile to go, and it'll screech along the whole route, kind of like a screaming arrow or a whistling arrow. Okay, let's go another step. Let's do visual instead of audio. This will still be a first level magic missile, same damage. This one is a Flair magic missile. Imagine shooting this up in the air and it detonates like a flare. And it'd just be the Flair spell, so it's not generating a ton of light, but think of it as a flare gun flare. It'll generate a time, except the amount of light's more candlelight-ish, but it'll be in the middle of the sky, illuminating from above. So all of a sudden you got this thing that is a signal for, say, a military, for their attacks. Let's go further. Okay, this is a good one. Let's do Magic Missile as a spell carrier for touch attacks. Spectral Hand is a second level spell. The spell literally cuts off your hand in a way, and you use it as the way to deliver touch attacks at a distance. But when it's destroyed, it returns to you. You just lose the hit points for the casting of the spell. And I believe it's a d4 hit points to cast the spell. But it's there for multiple turns, so you could use that round after round to deliver touch spells. We'll just say this is a one-time effect, and it's on one missile. And the other caveat is it takes 2 turns to load this spell up. The first turn you cast, we'll call this Piggyback magic missile. You cast the Piggyback magic missile, so that's your first turn. It's now available, but you have to concentrate to hold the spell there. And I wouldn't make you roll a concentration check unless you were in a rough environment or you're being attacked, or you provoked an attack of opportunity and took damage. So, being that is the caveat, the next turn you cast the touch spell. So say I want to put Shocking Grasp on a magic missile. I could do so. And then that spell is delivered to a target. Now say you want to get multiple magic missiles out of this. I would follow the amount of missiles you get equal to the regular setup for magic missile. The magic missile would do a d4 force damage, and then you have your Shocking Grasp damage on top of that. You could also use that for, say, inflict spells. You could have the cleric cast an inflict spell into one of them. So you can modify that and use that to your advantage. Now let's say the shield spell is still a problem for you. Let's do a shield break magic missile. This would be a second level magic missile. It has a 50% chance on impact with a shield per missile to dispel the shield. You have to designate how many of those missiles are going to go towards attacking the shield spell. The rest go for the target. So say you commit 2 missiles to the shield, but you fail to break the shield with those 2 missiles, the rest get absorbed by the shield spell. By the shield spell. So otherwise, say you designate 2 or 3 to attack the shield, and we'll say 3, and the first one succeeds in destroying the shield, the other 2 are wasted, but then the remainder go after the target. Now let's jump to a 9th level spell. We will go Magic Missile Swarm. 2 forms of it. The first and primary use of it, it generates 50 magic missiles. Targets anyone in sight, and does a d4 plus 1 damage. Force. Now, version 2 of it, you get half as many magic missiles, so 25 magic missiles. It can now duplicate the effects of any magic missile spell of, we'll just do any magic missile spell. So all those that we've just created, it can duplicate those effects for all 25 missiles. And all the missiles don't need to be the same. Now, let's compound this with a magical item. The magic missile glove. So it's a single magical item. It's a one glove instead of a pair of gloves. So you could have 2 of these at max, and I'd say this item's worth 5,000 gold per, and you only need 1 for its effect. So with a single glove, it doubles the amount of magic missiles your magic missile spell generates, as long as you're wearing the glove. So now your first level spell can generate 10 magic missiles at max. Your 9th level spell can now generate 100 or 50 with specific effects. Now you put the second glove on, you don't get to multiply the 100 by 2, you multiply the 50 by 2 again. So now you get 150 magic missiles that do a D4 plus 1 damage. But the ones that do a D4 plus 1 are still subjected to the shield spell. So this spell is still countered by a level 1 spell. That's when you go into, okay, now I got 75 specialized magic missiles from the second version of Magic Missile Swarm. Now I can deal out a boatload of different types of damages. So these are my thoughts on Magic Missile. These are my different Magic Missile spells. If you all like this, put it in the comments below. If you like the idea of these different Magic Missile spells, use them in your game. Until we meet again.